For decades, if you wanted reliable and affordable, you bought Japanese. If you wanted speed, you bought European. But today, that rulebook is dead. India is building motorcycles that are shockingly good, rugged, modern, and so cheap they feel like a mistake. These are 12 Indian motorcycles that are changing the game. Number 12, Royal Enfield Classic 350. We start with the undisputed icon of the subcontinent, the Royal Enfield Classic. 350 is absolutely not about speed. It is definitely not about technology. It is about only one thing, the thump. This is the motorcycle that kept the Indian industry alive for 50 years. And the new reborn version is a masterpiece of refinement that proves you do not need high horsepower to have high enjoyment. It features a 349 cubic centimeter air and oil-cooled single-cylinder engine. It produces 20 horsepower and 27 newton meters of torque. It weighs 430 pounds. It has a top speed of roughly 75 miles per hour. But reading the spec sheet misses the point entirely. This bike is about the way it makes you truly feel. The engine beats like a slow, rhythmic heart. I remember renting a Classic 350 in Rajasthan for a week-long trip. I had spent the previous month on a high-strung sport bike that made my wrists ache and my nerves fray. The moment I sat on the sprung solo seat of the Classic and clicked it into gear, my heart rate dropped. The rhythmic dug of the engine is purely meditative. It forces you to slow down and look at the world. It is the most stress-relieving machine on two wheels. You don't ride it to get somewhere. You ride it to be somewhere. In the United States, you can pick one of these up brand new for $4,600. In India, it is much cheaper. But even at US prices, it offers a fit and finish, real metal fenders, hand-painted tank stripes that rivals bikes costing twice as much. It is incredibly reliable. It is cheap to fix, and it holds its value incredibly well. But what if you want that same unkillable reliability in a package that can conquer the wildest terrain on Earth? Our next bike is the mountain goat of the motorcycle world. Number 11, Hero X-Pulse 204V. If the Classic is for relaxing, the Hero X-Pulse 204V is for conquering. This is widely considered the absolute best beginner adventure bike on the planet. It is small, it is light, and it is virtually indestructible. Hero MotoCorp is the largest manufacturer of two-wheelers in the world, and they poured all their durability knowledge into this little machine. It uses a 199 cubic centimeter oil-cooled single-cylinder engine with a 4-valve head. It makes 19 horsepower. It features long travel suspension with nearly 8 inches of travel at both ends and a 21-inch front wheel. It weighs just 350 pounds wet. This combination makes it incredibly easy to manage in the dirt. My friend Dave, who had never ridden off-road in his life, bought an X-Pulse for a training camp we did in the mountains. On the second day, he dropped it into a river crossing. The bike was fully submerged. We dragged it out, drained the airbox, hit the starter, and it fired right up. He spent the rest of the week crashing it into rocks and mud, and the bike just laughed. It inspired so much confidence that by the end of the week, he was attempting hill climbs that guys on $12,000 European bikes were avoiding. This is the shocking part. In India, this bike costs the equivalent of $1,700. Even if you import one or find a distributor in Latin America or Turkey, it is dirt cheap capability. It is reliable, cheap, and opens up a world of adventure that was previously gated behind expensive, heavy motorcycles. The X-Pulse is rugged, but sometimes you want something that defies categorization. You want a bike that looks like nothing else on the road. Number 10, TVS Ronin. TVS is a brand legendary for its racing heritage, usually building sharp, aggressive track weapons. But with the Ronin, they did something radical. They decided to build a modern retro cruiser that breaks all the rules. Is it a scrambler? Is it a cruiser? Is it a cafe racer? The internet argued for months, but the verdict is in. We don't know, but it is absolutely brilliant. It represents a bold new design language coming out of India that refuses to fit into a neat little box. It packs a brand new 225 cubic centimeter oil-cooled single-cylinder engine, making 20 horsepower. But don't let the modest horsepower number fool you. This engine is tuned specifically for low-end torque. It pulls like a tractor from the bottom, meant for city prowling and quick bursts of acceleration between stoplights. It comes loaded with premium features that you simply do not see at this price point. We are talking about gold anodized upside-down forks, a unique offset digital speedometer that looks like a custom aftermarket part, and a silent start system that brings the bike to life without that cheap starter motor whine. It even features smartphone connectivity with turn-by-turn navigation right on the dash. When you sit on the Ronin, it feels like a genuine premium product. The paint quality is deep, the golden forks shine in the sun, and the chain cover looks like an expensive accessory. It is the perfect bike for the rider who wants style, but finds the classic Royal Enfield too heavy or vibrating. The Ronin is nimble, incredibly easy to ride, and turns heads at every stoplight because people can't quite figure out what it is. It has a unique T-shaped daytime running light that looks menacing in rearview mirrors. The craziest part? It costs roughly $2,300 equivalent. You are getting a tech-loaded, gold-forked, head-turning machine for the price of a used dirt bike. Quick pause. If you are enjoying this list of value-packed machines and want to save money on your next ride, click that like button right now. It helps us find more hidden gems for you. And wait until you see the bike at number 5. It has a feature usually found on $20,000 Ducatis that will blow your mind. Number 9, Jawa 42 Bobber. Bobbers are usually expensive custom jobs or overpriced triumphs. Jawa, a legendary Czech brand that was reborn in India, completely changed the game with the 42 Bobber. It is the only factory bobber you can buy on a budget, and it is arguably the best-looking bike on this entire list. It uses a 334 cubic centimeter liquid-cooled single-cylinder engine, making 29 horsepower. It has a 6-speed gearbox, but the specs do not matter. Look at it. It has a floating solo seat that is adjustable, chopped fenders, slash-cut exhausts, and bar-end mirrors. It looks like a custom build straight from a boutique workshop. I took a 42 Bobber to a local bike night filled with Harleys and Indians. I expected to be ignored or mocked for riding a small displacement bike. Instead, I was swarmed. A guy on a $30,000 CVE asked me, "Who actually built that for you?" When I told him it was a stock bike from India that cost less than his exhaust system, his jaw hit the floor. It captures the essence of cool perfectly without the back-breaking price tag. You can pick one up for around $2,750 equivalent. For that price, you get a bike that wins beauty contests and is reliable enough to ride every day. Style is great, but what if you want raw power? What if you want to embarrass sport bikes at traffic lights? Number 8, Bajaj Pulsar NS 400Z. This is the newest bike on the list and arguably the best value for money performance bike in the entire world right now. For years, enthusiasts begged Bajaj to build this machine, and they finally listened. They took their proven, rigid perimeter frame chassis and stuffed their biggest, most powerful engine into it to create a street fighter for the masses. It features a 373 cubic centimeter liquid-cooled single-cylinder engine derived from the legendary KTM 390 and the Dominar. It pumps out a ferocious 40 horsepower and 35 newton meters of torque. But unlike the older models, this isn't just a brute, it is smart. It features switchable traction control, multiple ABS modes, and a crisp color LCD screen with Bluetooth navigation. It is aggressive, sharp, and completely unapologetic in its design. The Pulsar NS lineage has always been about raw aggression, but this new Z model takes it to 11. It accelerates with a ferocity that absolutely scares 150cc bikes back into the slow lane. It is not a refined touring machine, it is a hooligan. It wants to do wheelies at every green light. It wants to rev to the red line. It is pure adrenaline available for literal pennies. In India, it launched at an introductory price of roughly $2,300. Let that sink in. 40 horsepower, traction control, and inverted forks for $2,000? That is truly unheard of in the history of motorcycling. The Pulsar is a beast on the street, designed to dominate the asphalt jungle. But what if you want that urban aggression mixed with some genuine off-road capability? Number 7, Royal Enfield Scram 411. The Himalayan is the famous globe-trotting adventurer, but the Scram 411 is its cooler, urban cousin that skipped hiking class to hang out at the skate park. It strips away the windscreen, the tall fender, and the luggage racks for a lighter, more agile experience that is absolutely perfect for the city sprawl. It transforms the utilitarian adventure bike into a stylish street brawler. It uses the legendary LS410 411 cubic centimeter air-cooled single-cylinder engine. On paper, it only makes 24 horsepower, which sounds low, but in the real world, it is a torque monster. It features a long stroke design that pulls from idle like a diesel engine. It swaps the 21-inch front wheel for a smaller, sharper 19-inch wheel. This changes the geometry completely, making it handle better on the street, flicking into corners with ease while still being more than capable on fire roads and dirt trails. I used a Scram 411 as a daily commuter in a dense city filled with potholes the size of swimming pools and active construction zones. It is a simple, honest motorcycle. It feels like a tractor. You can be in the wrong gear going up a steep hill, and it just chugs along without stalling. It doesn't scream, it grunts. It is the perfect bike for the urban jungle. I remember seeing traffic stop dead by a broken median. Everyone was stuck. I simply stood up on the pegs, jumped the curb, rode through the dirt of a construction site, and bypassed the chaos. The suspension soaked it up like it was nothing. It never feels fragile. It feels like you could ride it through a brick wall. In the US, these are selling for roughly $5,099. It is one of the most affordable scramblers on the market, and it offers a level of metal ruggedness that fragile plastic street bikes just cannot match. It isn't pretending to be tough, it is tough. But maybe you don't want rugged. Maybe you want speed. Maybe you want a bike that looks like it belongs on a racetrack and cuts through the air like a knife. Number 6, TVS Apache RR 310. This is the bike that proved India could build a sport bike to rival the Europeans. In fact, it is a European bike underneath. TVS builds the G310R for BMW, and the Apache RR310 is their own fully fared version of that platform. It features a 312 cubic centimeter reverse inclined liquid-cooled single-cylinder engine. It makes 34 horsepower. It is loaded with technology, ride-by-wire throttle, 4 ride modes, and a vertical TFT dashboard that looks exactly like a smartphone. I rode the BMW version and the TVS version back-to-back at a track day. The TVS actually felt better equipped. The Michelin Road 5 tires stick like glue. The aerodynamics are incredibly functional. It cuts through the wind beautifully. It is a track-capable weapon that you can commute on. It feels sharp, precise, and incredibly modern. It costs the equivalent of roughly $3,500. You are getting German engineering at an Indian price point, wrapped in a fairing that looks like a Ducati. We are halfway through and the bikes are getting bigger. Our next entry is a muscle roadster co-developed with an American legend. Number 5, Hero Maverick 440. Hero is the world's largest manufacturer of two-wheelers, but they mostly make small commuters. The Maverick 440 is their entry into the premium big bike world, co-developed with Harley-Davidson. This is the same platform as the Harley X440, but with a unique Hero twist. It uses a 440 cubic centimeter air and oil-cooled single-cylinder engine. It makes 27 horsepower, but a massive 36 newton meters of torque. It is all about low-end grunt. It features a muscular tank and a neo-retro roadster design that looks substantial. This engine is a gem. It is incredibly smooth. Unlike the thumping Royal Enfields the Maverick glides, it pulls cleanly from 2,000 RPM. It feels substantial and planted, like a big American roadster, but without the terrifying weight. It is approachable for beginners, but has enough torque to keep experienced riders entertained. It sells for roughly $2,400 equivalent. It is a lot of metal for the money, and it signals a new era for Hero. But what if you want to crush highway miles? What if you want a bike designed specifically for high-speed touring? Number 4, Bajaj Dominar 400. Bajaj calls this a power cruiser. It was designed to hunt down Royal Enfields on the highway, and it does so with brute force. It is the absolute flagship of the Bajaj lineup. It uses a 373 cubic centimeter liquid-cooled single-cylinder engine, making 39 horsepower. It is heavy at 400 pounds, but that weight makes it rock-solid stable in crosswinds. It features a stamped steel swing arm and beefy upside-down forks. It comes stock with touring accessories like a windshield and handguards in many markets. I took a Dominar on a 600-mile road trip across the coastline. Usually on a single-cylinder bike, your hands are numb after an hour from the vibration. On the Dominar, I felt fresh. It sits at 80 miles per hour all day long without stressing the engine. It tracks straight as an arrow. It is a dedicated touring machine that costs less than a set of luggage for a big BMW GS. It costs roughly $2,800 equivalent. It is the king of the highway for budget travelers who prioritize speed and stability over retro charm. Speaking of charm, our top 3 bikes are truly world-class. The next one is the coolest factory, custom you can buy today. Number 3. Royal Enfield Shotgun 650. This is the coolest bike Royal Enfield has ever made, and frankly, it might be the coolest bike you can buy for under 10 grand, period. Built on the proven, bulletproof 650 twin platform, the Shotgun is a factory custom bobber that looks like it rolled straight out of a boutique workshop in Los Angeles or Tokyo. It breaks the mold of what we expect from an Indian manufacturer. It features the beloved 648 cubic centimeter parallel twin engine. It makes 47 horsepower, but numbers don't tell the whole story. This engine utilizes a 270-degree firing order, giving it a rumbling character that sounds like a V-twin, but revs like a sports bike. It features upside-down Showa big piston forks and a low, aggressive stance that makes you feel like you own the road. The engineering brilliance, however, is in the modular subframe. In the past, if you wanted a bobber, you had to take an angle grinder to your frame and ruin the bike's resale value. With the Shotgun, you can switch from a selfish solo seat bobber to a practical 2-up cruiser or a touring machine with a luggage rack in literal minutes by simply removing 4 bolts. It is 3 bikes in one. I have a question for you. Do you prefer the floating solo seat look, or would you keep the rear seat on for practicality? Let me know your preference in the comments below. In the US, it costs $6,890. It is the most expensive bike on this list so far, but it competes with Triumphs and Harleys costing $12,000. It is reliable, beautiful, and insanely fun to ride. But if you want to go anywhere, you need our runner-up. This is the bike that has put the Japanese and Austrians on notice. Number 2, Royal Enfield Himalayan 450. This is the bike that changed everything. The original Himalayan was lovable but slow and heavy. The new 450 is a legitimate global contender. It is a Sherpa that can run with the fastest adventure bikes in its class. It features a brand new Sherpa 452 cubic centimeter liquid-cooled engine. This is the first liquid-cooled engine from Royal Enfield. It makes 40 horsepower. It features ride-by-wire, Google Maps navigation built directly into the circular TFT dash, and Showa suspension that is utterly brilliant. I rode this bike in the actual Himalayas up to 18,000 feet above sea level. The air was so thin I could barely breathe, but the bike didn't care. The electronic fuel injection adjusted perfectly. The suspension soaked up rocks the size of watermelons. It is a true go-anywhere machine. It feels rugged, capable, and finally, it has enough power to cruise at 85 miles per hour on the freeway without exploding. It costs $5,799 in the US. For a fully capable adventure bike that can cross continents, that is the bargain of the decade. And finally, the #1 Indian motorcycle. It is not just good for the price, it is one of the most advanced motorcycles in the world, period. Number 1, Ultraviolette F77 Mach 2. While the rest of the world is building boring electric scooters, Ultraviolette built a fighter jet. Based in Bangalore, this company is backed by big names and has created an electric sport bike that is genuinely thrilling. It features a 10.3 kilowatt-hour battery pack, one of the largest on any electric motorcycle. It produces the equivalent of 40 horsepower, but a massive 100 newton-meters of torque at the wheel. It has a real-world range of nearly 200 miles in the city. It looks like it drove off the set of a sci-fi movie. I let a friend who is a die-hard petrolhead ride the F77. He rides a Litters-class sport bike and usually hates electrics. He came back with his eyes wide open. "It's silent," he said, "but it pulls like a roller coaster. The acceleration is instant. There is no clutch, no gears. You just twist and teleport. It handles like a Moto3 race bike. Sharp, precise, and incredibly stable. It even has Regan brakes that you can adjust to feel like engine braking." In India, the Mach 2 starts around the equivalent of $3,600. Think about that. An electric motorcycle with 200 miles of range and 100 miles per hour performance for under $4 grand. It is reliable, it is cheap to run, and it is shockingly fast. It is the future, and it is here right now. There you have it. And if you want to see